Hey everybody, good evening. Looks like some big stuff is breaking. So I just thought I'd make a live. I was literally sleeping and I got the alerts on my phone, so might as well just get on to it. I'll split screen you guys. As you can see, some serious explosions going on in Venezuela right now. Aircraft flying overhead. Um, yeah, several helicopters have been spotted. So thought I'd run this live because it looks like we're officially in the war stage now, uh, down in the Caribbean. Here's one of the look at this. Look at all the aircraft here, helicopters flying over. So it looks like the attack started around 1:05 a.m. Uh, Venezuelan time, Caracas time. Um, Several explosions have been spotted. I think there have been some strikes on an island right off the coast. The main port in Caracas has been struck, um, and it continues to go on, it appears. So this is right after uh, Maduro asked for serious talks with Trump, which I find interesting. Um, so I guess Maduro must have been feeling the heat, um, which is why he asked for serious talks. And I just thought when I heard him ask for the serious talks, I said, I don't know, man. Like, what do you mean serious talks? I think it should have been serious this entire time. If he hasn't been serious up until now, I mean, bro, uh, that's a big problem. So I don't know what I one of the things I've noticed about this entire thing is it seems like there's two different timelines happening here. You've got the Trump timeline occurring, which is he's just, he's like, look, we're gonna take you out. And then you've got the Maduro thing where Maduro seems to feel like this is all a show. Like this is not real. Up until now, he's been basically laughing, he's been joking, he's been dancing. Now he today or yesterday, he said he wants serious talks now. So up until this point, Maduro has considered this not serious. He's considered this as a joke, right? And so that's what I thought when he announced, "Hey, let's have some serious talks now, President Trump." I thought, well, so you're saying this hasn't been serious this whole time? I thought, well, that's kind of an insult to Trump. So now you see, I guess this is the serious discussions Trump is saying that he's willing to have now. I don't know. Um, this looks pretty serious though. So once again, around 1:05 a.m. local time in Caracas, several explosions have occurred. One of the main islands off of the coast was attacked. It looks like the main port in Caracas, targets there have been attacked, and the report so far is that military bases are what are being is what's being struck now. So just looking at some of the local coverage, it looks like there's power still on in the city everywhere I'm seeing, and this looks very targeted. So maybe this isn't all out war that's beginning now, but at the bare minimum, it looks like some serious military installations have been struck. We've got I've seen a bunch of different helicopters, U.S. style helicopters, um, coming in. You've got here we go, Osint, one of my favorite uh, feeds here. Osint Defenders. You can see these are U.S. helicopters flying over the capital of Caracas. There, it appears. So I don't know if those helicopters are carrying special forces. Um, Look, This could be an attempt at going at a direct, a like, attempt at Maduro himself, because this looks pretty clean. The city's lights are still on, but I see a bunch of helicopters and a bunch of explosions that are very targeted. This could be going after Maduro himself, is what this could be. This could be an attempt to get him, to get something clean, get him, and, uh, and by the time we wake up in the morning, it's the weekend. Remember, this is still holiday season, so we've got the New Year's here still going on. People are out of town still because it's a long weekend, right? So people are out of town all over the world. I'm sure, even in Caracas, you've got that going on. And so this is a time when if you're going to do something, you're going to try to get in there and remove someone, you're going to do it on the weekend, right? You're going to do it on a Friday night, a holiday type weekend. People aren't prepared. It's a pretty big explosion here. This looks like it's the port of Caracas, it appears. Yeah, so, um, here's the look of civilian traffic right now over Venezuela. As you can see, nothing. Every single civilian aircraft is has decided to go all the way around. They're nowhere in this entire pocket in here. Nothing. So here's it again, US Apache and CH-47s. Look, this is, this that could be that whole, I'm looking at that, I'm saying, well, there are enough troops there inside of those helicopters, some special forces guys, if you wanted to go into somewhere, a bunker or something, if you knew where Maduro was, you think you might know where he is, and you want to get a strike right in there on him, this could be it. This we might wake up in the morning and there may be no Maduro, which is why I'm doing the live right now. This just feels like, just looking at what's been happening, like I said, with Maduro announcing finally he wants to have serious talks and whatnot. I thought, it's the weekend, it's a holiday. Yeah, this is right about the time when you could see military action and where someone could be removed. Um, so there still isn't any official. Uh, let's look for some type of official U.S. announcement that might. Okay, I'm trying to think of who would announce it in the United States because they're going to want to keep this under wraps, right? Um, hmm, who would want to? Okay, so there's more coming in here. Explosion in helicopters. So once again, like just around uh, 1 a.m., reports have come out of Caracas, several locations, an island off the coast, uh, targets in the port of the capital of Caracas being struck. Several U.S. helicopters have been spotted, have been recorded on videotape and posted online by residents. And so this is a serious attack. It's on the mainland of Venezuela. It's in the capital, Caracas. And we definitely have personnel, boots on the ground, because we've had enough helicopters spotted now that carry troops. There are boots in the ground on the ground most likely in Caracas as we speak. There's an operation being done. We'll find out in the morning, I guess. But in the meantime, I want to run this live because I think this is big news. I mean, I've been watching it long enough. I think we're at that point now where we're going to see something happen as far as who leads the country in Venezuela. Here's another view. Yeah, these are the helicopters. Once again, Chinook. I mean, these usually carry troops, guys. So we might have special forces going in right now. I mean, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. This guy's pretty mad right now. He's calling it some bullshit. He's upset. This Venezuela guy. Okay, so AI is still behind, according to Grok. Let's translate it here. There is no official confirmation that the U.S. has bombed Venezuela. So I mean, come on, guys. Look, Grok is saying there's no confirmation. So I guess it's like, hey, this is it's possibly not America. But then when you look at these helicopters, these Chinooks, it's like, are you for real right now? This is the problem with AI, man. Like, it's supposed to be so smart, but really, is it on something so obvious? Like, it can't even, whatever, bro. Look at this one. This is a different view. Wow. Wow. Oh, looks like they're just waking up in Venezuela right now. They're like, what's going on? This guy looks like Michael Jackson. So here we go. Air Force Apache and CH-47 aircraft that look, man. Look, guys. I mean, look at the helicopters. I'd say this is boots on the ground. I'd say this is boots on the ground. Yeah, mama huevo. This guy's pissed. But like, yeah, this looks like boots on the ground, if you ask me. And once again, this is right after Maduro asked for serious talks. Let me pull that up. All right. I mean, so here we go. So this happened earlier today. Trump news at a glance. Nicolas Maduro wants to have serious talks with Trump. Venezuelan leader calls for dialogue and diplomacy between Washington and Caracas following U.S. claims of airstrike. So, you know, so I felt like, when I saw Maduro say he wants serious talks now, I thought that was sort of an insult because if this hasn't been serious up until now, this has all been a game, and now you want serious talks. I don't know, man. I just felt like that was an insult from Maduro, maybe a step too far to 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 call it serious talks. Maybe he doesn't know that that would be taken as an insult to Trump because I mean, part of to me Trump's thing is he doesn't just talk. For Trump isn't just talking when he says he talks. When Trump is talking, he's doing things too. And so Trump's version of talking is doing plus talking, right? And so I just felt like up until now, Trump has made it pretty clear that he's been real serious, and everything Trump has been saying has been serious up until this point. And so for Maduro to say, hey, let's begin serious talks now, it's like, so look, this was a game up until now. I'm not saying that that's what he meant, but I'm just saying, looking from a Trump perspective, I think that's how Trump takes these things. Like, he looks at it. Trump is going, bro. So what are you trying to say? That I'm a joke? You're saying I was playing around up until this point? Really? And so I just see this as a response to Nicolas Maduro saying he wants to have serious talks now. Okay, well, I guess is this serious enough for you, President Maduro? I don't know. Does he feel like they're in a serious place now? Or does Maduro still think this is a game? I don't know. But I just feel like, when I saw that, I just thought, I don't know if you want to call it that, Maduro. Do you really need to do that, bro? You know? So this is what he was met with, okay? After saying he wants serious talks, okay, what happens? We've got helicopters in Caracas now. We're bombing the hell out of them now. Here's some views from the street. I guess this is in the port, looks like. I don't see a military response coming out of Venezuela right now either. That's, very strange to me. You would think that, you know, they should be having some type of response, but I haven't seen any. I've been going through a lot of these live streams. I just haven't seen um, any type of military action from Venezuela, from the Venezuelan military, which is strange. It looks like people are getting the hell up out of there. Bro, people are moving. Okay, so if this is people evacuating Caracas, if that's what's going on, this is for real. This is not just a couple of strikes. This is the people getting the hell up out of there because there's about to be some serious stuff going on. Look, those helicopters we spotted. Let's see if I can grab them again. Here, these helicopters here. I don't know, man. These helicopters. I'm thinking boots on the ground. I'm thinking Maduro wanted to have some serious talks. Maybe they're going to where he is right now to have those talks with him face to face. Maybe this is serious enough for Maduro. Maybe this is serious enough. What's interesting is I've looked at some of the people that I know here in the United States who are quote unquote Chavistas who support the Maduro regime over here, and those guys have been totally off the radar, totally silent, like nothing. Since like November have I seen anything out of those people. So that's another thing. Here's another shot of the helicopters. Look at that. Yeah, yeah, I think those are probably special forces here. And maybe the explosions are them taking out any kind of Venezuelan military assets that could target the helicopters, clearing the way for them. Yeah, so once again, right around 1 a.m., reports have come in of attacks on the capital of Venezuela, as well as an island off the coast. Looks like the port has been a focal point, but we've also seen helicopters, United States helicopters, flying into the capital. Several. Looks like maybe around 10. So there may be boots on the ground. See, like I was saying, these are special forces Chinook helicopters. I'm pretty sure, guys. Another view of them. It looks like our special forces are on the on the ground in Caracas. I'm sorry. I mean, that's what this looks like to me. Mm. Like I was saying before, it's a weekend, it's a holiday. This is the time. If you're going to go in and you're going to try to, do something militarily, this would be the time. Let's see what else we got going on here. I'm not seeing very many more videos coming out. I'll tell you what got me though is the view of all of the vehicles leaving one neighborhood there in Caracas. I mean, it looks like an evacuation of the city. What's interesting is, as you can see, all the lights are still on. Okay, so we've got other feeds coming up here. Yeah, we've invaded. We have definitely invaded. Once you saw the helicopters, we've invaded. We're boots on the ground in Caracas, guys. It's on. It's on. It's happening. It's happening. If you're wondering if it's happening, guys. So this looks like the airport. Mm, let's see what Grok is saying. Yeah, the Grok is still AI still doesn't know what's going on, guys. This is the problem with AI, man. It's supposed to be so advanced, and you got this going on in Venezuela, and it's like, oh, there's nothing has been confirmed. It's all make believe until we, the AI, tell you what's going on. But like, nah, man, this is pretty obvious what's happening here. Let's see if this is another. Here's another view of some of these explosions here. Very targeted, because as you can see, you see these explosions going off, and the lights are still on. So they're not even hitting power lines here. I'm just saying. I mean, that's pretty whoa, that's pretty targeted where you can hit these places here and the lights all around are still going. I don't know. What's curious is what's happening in these dark areas where there are no lights where the bombs are hitting. I don't know. Is this military installations here? Could be. Or is this the port? Targets getting hit inside the port? I'm not sure. So yeah, once again, attack. We've got explosions being reported, live streams happening in Caracas right around 1 a.m. Eastern time. Um, everyone's sleep. It's holiday here in America. It's the holidays. It's the New Year's for most of the Western world. It's 2:20 a.m. Running the live stream because this seems to be it. I mean, we're invading, and it looks like we've got boots on the ground. And it could be that there is no Maduro in the morning. I don't know if they've got the intel they need to pull this off and to make it a clean thing here. But I don't know, guys. I would say it's pretty clear that this is it. That we are. This is the invasion. This is boots on the ground. Exactly. This is exactly what happened, bro. This is the perfect gift for what's happening right now. It's like, what? Everybody was having a good time. It's the New Year's. The Kings won. Everything's great. And then all of a sudden, boom. This is going on right after Maduro asked, like I said earlier. So Maduro had asked for serious talks with Trump. I guess this is Trump's version of serious talks. Once again, right around 1 a.m., explosions were seen, were caught on film. There's been live streaming from Caracas now. It looks like people are fleeing the capital. I see a lot of traffic going on. The lights are still on in most of the city, but even here, you can see some lights are out. There's some power out here, but look at how many people are fleeing out of this area. And this looks like an area that lost electricity. So, you could just imagine, you're you just went through the New Year's. It's like 1 a.m. and you've got to get out of bed and get the hell up out of there. And that's what's going on right now in Caracas. People are getting the hell up out of there. So what we've got now is a situation where, like I said, around 1 a.m., explosions were heard in the capital of Caracas. U.S. helicopters, special forces, Chinooks have been spotted over the capital. They weren't just flying around aimlessly. These helicopters, you can tell that they know the specific GPS coordinate they're after. So we've got special forces on the ground, looks like in Caracas. They've got the weekend because this is nighttime. So they've got the weekend here. So on a Saturday. They've got the weekend uh, to do whatever they got to do. And if you're Maduro, um, you're sitting there and you're going, well, how am I going to make it through this weekend? They've got special forces and helicopters in my capital. I haven't seen a response yet from the Venezuelan military. Um, and so Maduro has a good 48 to 72 hours to try to maybe get out of there and escape. But it's going to be rough. Looks like they've hit the airport. So how does Maduro get out of there? I don't know. And like I say, he just asked for Trump to have serious talks. Well, I think these are the serious talks that Trump is offering him, and looks like they're going right after this guy, and they're going to try to get him. Instead, I guess his time's up, basically. And so this is the weekend. This is Maduro's weekend. Can he get out of there alive? Can he get out of there without getting captured by U.S. forces? That's where we're at now. So we've got a good 48 hours um, where Maduro is going to be running around Venezuela trying to find a hiding place, and our special forces are going to be searching out, trying to find him. This is a cat and mouse now. They may have already gotten him. We don't know, but I'm running it live now because at any moment we could hear from the U.S. government. We could hear from Trump all of a sudden that Nicolas Maduro has been killed. That's possible here. All right. Once the special forces helicopters are going into the Capitol, all bets are off. All bets are off. And like I said, I do not see a military response from Venezuela. So they've been caught totally off guard with their pants down. It's a weekend, it's a holiday weekend, and I don't even see anti-aircraft fire or anything. I mean, I saw about 10 US helicopters fly in on Caracas just now, and not one gunshot at those helicopters. Not one gun. Not even a citizen with a handgun went to shooting at these helicopters, right? So total this is total surprise. People are clearly stunned. Here we go. It looks like I found a military asset in Caracas there. One tank came out on the streets. I don't know. Looks like CNN. Here we go. I mean, and this guy, and he's like CNN's like fifth string guy. So all of their hosts, all of their news people for years, none of them could get up this morning. They've got the fifth stringer guy who I've never seen before with the funny hair reporting on this. And he is shocked that there are explosions. What's this? Let's see what we got on CNN. I mean, they're supposed to be the top folks on this. Yeah, I don't see much here. Okay, here we go. Let's look at the latest. Mhm. Okay. As you guys can see there, um, big deal. Uh, People are shocked in Caracas, in the capital. They're surprised. They don't know what's going on. It's the weekend, man. This was a total surprise attack, it looks like. The Boston Globe is now reporting once again. So around 1:50 a.m. Caracas time, at least 7 explosions were heard throughout the capital and also an island off the coast, as well as several low flying aircraft, helicopters, whatever else. Um, the I haven't seen a military response. The Venezuelan state TV has not responded at all. But there are evacuations happening. I've seen in several neighborhoods now people getting the hell up out of there. So there are self-imposed evacuations happening in Caracas right now. At least 7 explosions were heard. Helicopters have arrived. This all started at about 1:50 a.m. local time in Caracas. This is after Nicolas Maduro asked Trump to have serious talks. It's the weekend. With having that many helicopters go in, with these explosions being as targeted as they are, uh, this looks like they're going right after Maduro to try to get special forces in on whatever bunker he's in Venezuela to get him. So we may hear, by the time the weekend is over, we may hear that Nicolas Maduro is no longer the leader of Venezuela if U.S. special forces are successful, and they've been watching now for a long time. So our military's been off the coast there. They've been watching for a long time. I think they know where Maduro is. I'm pretty sure they know where he is. And the fact that that state TV hasn't said anything in Venezuela, there hasn't been a military response. This, this could be one of those occasions where we all wake up on a Saturday or Sunday morning and we find out the entire world has changed, and that one of the leaders of one of the most major countries in the world, Venezuela, has been disposed of. That could be what we're seeing right now, because without state TV responding, with it looks like evacuations happening where civilians, even on foot, are getting the hell up out of there, with special forces helicopters flying over the capital. You combine it all, and and Maduro just asked for serious talks. You combine it all early in the morning, weekend. This seems surgical. This seems purposeful. This seems targeted. Can Maduro get out of this? He's got 48 to 72 hours to find a way to somehow, some way get out of the country. Because if this type of attack is happening and we've got this many helicopters in the capital and the state TV has not responded and there hasn't been a military response, that's all adding up to me to say there's going to be a different leader in Venezuela by the time this weekend is up. I just don't see how, looking at this scenario, looking at the facts on as how we're seeing them now, I don't see how Maduro is the leader of Venezuela when the weekend's over. So I think everyone should be right now of the mindset that, hey, Maduro's been removed. That's where I think everybody should be operating, from that perspective. And if you're thinking from that perspective, well, what does that mean? Well, that means a lot in this region. What that means is that the Cuban regime is over. Absolutely done. What that means is, with Marco Rubio as Secretary of State and the Cuban American delegation having as much power as they have in the US government right now, with Nicolas Maduro removed and no longer in Cuba no longer having that support from Caracas in the form of oil, military, etc., it's possible that we may be seeing Cubans in Miami heading back into Cuba soon, going back to their homeland to reclaim their property, to reclaim their land. That's where this is headed. That's where this is headed. So people need to start wrapping their heads around this quickly. That's why I'm on this now because you just so you all know, Thomas Jason Anderson. I'm I'm a research journalist. This is my new platform, Off Ramp Politics. But this region of the world has been a focus of mine in a lot of the corruption work I've done over the last 15 to 20 years. And I just know that what's happening now is pivotal. It's going to change the way the world operates. So that's why I'm running the live now. I got up out of bed. I said, hey, I got to run the live because we all need to start preparing for understanding like what the world will look like without a Maduro led Venezuela. And I'm telling you, it's a totally different world. It's a world where we could see a scenario where Marco Rubio, instead of running for president of the United States, could be running for president of Cuba. That's right. That's where this is headed. All right. So we're talking about an entire political sea change in the region, like total change here if Maduro is taken out. And the ramifications of that are massive, not just for the people of Venezuela and the people of Cuba and the other people in the region who live there, but for America as well. Like this is pivotal for all of us. What's happening right now, tonight, this morning, early in the morning on a weekend, holiday weekend, what's happening now is going to change the world we all thought we knew come Monday morning. This will be a different world. I don't see how Maduro gets out of this. I don't see how. And I just don't see the response from the Venezuelan military or the Venezuelan government to show that he has a viable leadership role going forward on this. I didn't see a single gunshot fired at our helicopters flying over the Capitol. Not one from the military or even from any type of citizen there. Nothing. So this looks like, we're going to see an entire political change in that region, and it's going to happen this weekend. Big news. All right. So once again, uh, it's, now these are U.S. helicopters flying over the capital of Caracas after several uh, targeted strikes. These are special forces helicopters. This is the weekend, holiday weekend. This is right after Maduro asked for serious talks, and the most that I've seen is one tank. That's where we are. It looks like the world is going to change overnight. Um, yeah. Oh, this is new. Here's a different view. Wow. Okay, here's a new view here. Wow. Okay. So that's a straight up close up view. Wow. Okay. This is serious stuff here. Oh, here's another view here. Here we go. Here's a close up view here of something that was hit. This looks like in the port. This is one of the port strikes. So once again, around 1:50 a.m. local time in Caracas, around 7 explosions were heard. Several U.S. helicopters overhead in Caracas. This is after Maduro asked Trump for serious talks. Here's one of the views. Here's a Chinook, guys. Look, these are our helicopters in the Capitol. Here we go. That's a Chinook, baby. These are special forces helicopters. All right. I mean, they're going in to get Maduro, and they're hunting him. They're going after him wherever he is in his bunker, whatever bunker networks of bunkers he has. They are on a hunt for Maduro and anyone else that up in the top of his regime. They've got the weekend to do it. The military in Venezuela has not responded as of yet. The state television has not responded as of yet. So it is very much possible that our special forces could have already gotten Maduro. That could already be the case. We could already be in the situation, ladies and gentlemen, where the world has changed and we don't even know it. Most of us are asleep in the United States, right? And when I say the world has changed, like I said earlier, without Maduro, Cuba is over. They're done. And that Cuban situation, you have to understand. If you understand Miami, if you understand Marco Rubio, you understand the plight of the Cuban people, which I do. I'm from Miami, born and raised in Miami. Look, um, it won't be long before the Cuban exiles here end up in Havana. All right, like that's coming. That's what I mean by the world changing here. All right, we may live in a world coming up here soon where us here in Miami, we can just take a quick little boat ride right over to Havana and it be like nothing. Where it's, you know, Cuba and Miami's just an extension now of the entire island of Cuba type situation, which is a big deal in today's world. I cannot I can't say enough how that alone will change the entire world in ways that I don't think people can understand. But that's what we're looking at here. This is serious. This is world changing and it's happening at 2:45 in the morning for us here in the United States Eastern Standard Time. We may have the entire world have changed. The entire world may have changed already. But with that said, I don't think Maduro gets out of this. I think he's got the weekend to try to get out. I don't know, man. I don't see how he escapes. I just don't know how this works out for him in the end. I don't think it does. And so I'm pretty sure in saying that, we're going to see Marco Rubio running for the president of Cuba. He's going to run as president for Cuba before he runs for the president of the United States, I believe. All right. Big deal. Really big deal. Okay, so here we go. Check this out. This is Bricks News from 4 hours ago. Just in, Chinese officials arrive in Venezuela for talks with Nicolas Maduro. Look at this, guys. Amazing. So, so we, so Trump went in on these guys, right when China goes to meet with Maduro, and they're smiling and they're sharing look at that. See, this was, I believe, China sending Trump a message that Trump is a punk, that they know that he's not serious and that they're just going to spit on him. Now, that's what this is. When you see this Chinese guy right here smiling, holding this little gift that they're giving to Maduro, okay, bro, with all of our military sitting out there, this right here, I don't know if they realize this, but whatever condition Trump is in health wise or whatever, I just think this guy should not be here smiling with this guy. I think this is real bad, real bad. And I think it probably set Trump off. And now I think the Chinese are going to discover something very interesting. And it's something that I've noticed, right? People keep saying over and over and over that this is dangerous, that Trump doesn't understand what he's getting into in Venezuela, that if we go in there, that there's going to be another Vietnam. Not true. There is not going to be another Vietnam. If anyone believes that, it's the Chinese. Why? Because the Chinese feel like, hey, look what happened with us in Vietnam, and the U.S. over there, and the Soviets in our backyard in Southeast Asia, blah, 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 blah. And so I guess the Chinese think that they're going to try to create a similar situation in our backyard in South America. But what they don't understand is the Venezuelan people are not like the Vietnamese people. They're not like the Chinese people. They're not anything like Asians whatsoever. So their idea, the Chinese, to think that they could just roll up into Caracas and share gifts with Maduro while our military is outside, and they're just like laughing because they're saying, ha, 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 go ahead, Americans, attack. You're so stupid. You're going to create another Vietnam. It's going to be bad for you. No, I don't think China's correct on this. I think they overplayed their hand on this. I think South America and the Caribbean is done with the dictator model and the sanctions model and the Cold War model of, we're going to be a little country in the Caribbean that's going to be the focal point of the attack on the great Satan America. And we're going to bring in our friends from Iran and China and Russia to help us do it. I think that game plan, that style of approach by leadership in Caribbean, I think that's old. I think it's stale. I think it's over, bro. I don't think anybody in the Caribbean cares for China or Russia or Iran. The Chinese, I think they want to try to make it seem like everybody likes them in the Caribbean and South America. Nobody likes them. Nobody likes them. Maduro might like them, but most people in the Caribbean and South America look at the Chinese grocery stores and stuff, and they look at it as abuse. They don't like how China comes in and floods everybody's marketplace in the Caribbean and South America. They flood everything with cheap crap, and they put all the local businesses, all the local stores out of business. And then when the people are suffering and they're poor, they can't eat, they better not go into a Chinese grocery store and steal anything, because that's when these Chinese guys, they do their vigilante justice in these countries. They literally will have people tied up and beaten for stealing some food out of one of their stores, stealing food out of a store that was put there by the Chinese government to put all the other stores out of business. This is what China does in the region. Okay. I've lived in Miami my whole life. I know a lot of people from the Caribbean and South America, Central and South America, bro. Chinese people, yeah, there are a lot of Chinese people in the region. You can see in Trinidad and stuff, even Jamaica, there are Chinese Haitians, but they are not the beloved culture that they claim that they are. They are not the people that everybody aspires to be like. That is not the case at all. So this idea that Trump's overstepping and that all these people in Central and South America, they love China more than they like the United States. I mean, what are they smoking on? What are these Chinese guys smoking on, bro? To even be deluded enough to believe that. That's so far from the truth. It's laughable, right? So so here we are. China way overplays their hands. They send a bunch of clowns into Caracas to give gifts and smile and basically spit in Trump's face. I don't know where they're getting this confidence from. I don't. I understand Trump is a loose cannon and he has seemed kind of strange lately and politically he's a little bit weak. But that still doesn't mean that if you're China, you can go down to Caracas and smile and have fun with Maduro, with our carrier groups off their shores. I mean, what was this? What are they thinking? And so clearly, to me, with this attack happening with this Chinese delegation in Caracas, I think Trump's sending the message here. He's sick and tired of China. A lot of people are sick and tired of China in the in the region. I'm just telling you that a lot of people are, man. And this is bad news for China. It really is. It's really bad news for these guys. And so here we are once again, 1:50 a.m. local time in Caracas, around 7 explosions heard. We've had helicopters overhead in the capital, Chinooks. These are special forces helicopters coming in. This happens right after Maduro asked Trump for serious talks, and he's meeting with a Chinese delegation to make fun of Trump, basically, like it's all a game. And it's the weekend, holiday weekend. Um, there has not been a military response. State television hasn't said a word in Venezuela so far. And so this looks like it's a straight up invasion to target Maduro himself. Our special forces, it appears, are going straight in for him. We may hear by the morning that Venezuela has a new leader. We may hear that the world has changed overnight, and very soon we may hear that the regime in Cuba has fallen and the there's new elections happening in Cuba and Marco Rubio is running for president in Cuba. Call me crazy. But this is where we're at. Okay, this is the ramifications of what we see here. Okay, the ramifications of this is we could see Marco Rubio running for president in Cuba very soon. People will say, "Oh no, their constitution doesn't allow." It doesn't matter, man. Once Venezuela falls, once the Maduro regime falls, the Cuban regime cannot stand. There's no way. And so there will be a political change happening in Cuba. And I'm going to say it again. We've got hundreds of thousands of Cuban exiles 80 miles away, ready to go back to Cuba, ready to get their property back, ready to get their country back. Right. So that's what this really is about. Okay. This thing in Venezuela is much bigger than Venezuela. We're talking about Cuba too. And like I said, Marco Rubio is Secretary of State. And so the Cuban American exile community is in full force right now. Trust me when I tell you, they know better than anyone. If Maduro falls, it opens Cuba up to them. This is a big deal. We could see massive shifts happening. So it looks like we've got an official statement coming from Asian News Nation. So it looks like the government of Venezuela, according to this Asian News Nation thing, they're asking for the people of Venezuela to get up in arms and go and attack the invaders. I guess. Here we go. This is the official statement right here. The official statement. This is it in Spanish. So it looks like Maduro's asking for the people of Venezuela to rise up and attack the invaders. But the problem is this is a precision strike. It looks like we've got special forces. They have targeted a specific location in Caracas, so they've got the GPS locations. They know what they're doing. They know where they're going. The people of Venezuela, even if with well intentions, what are they going to do on a targeted strike like this? There's not much you can do, right? There's just not much that can be done. So to me, this is almost like a movie at this point. All right. Like you've got Maduro in these networks of bunkers running for his life, trying to some way, somehow avoid these special forces who are on the ground, boots on the ground right now. This is wild stuff happening right now. Okay. I'm sure the Situation Room in the White House is lit. They've got coffee going. How much you want to bet they've got some coladas, some Cuban coffee going in the Situation Room? How much do you want to bet there's Cuban coffee going on I guarantee you there is. All right. So here we go. Bouncing, even on foot, getting the hell up out of there. And this looks like an area where some of the power was taken out. They're getting the hell up out of there. All right. I still haven't seen an official announcement from the US government, which tells me that there could be a big announcement coming, right? Why? Let's just say they've gotten Maduro. Do you want to have an announcement saying, hey, we've launched some attacks? Or do you want to start putting together the big announcement where a message from Trump himself from the Oval Office type of deal, right? That's what this kind of feels like. Not seeing an official thing coming out of the US government says that they are planning, they think that they have the potential to have a really good first communication on this, that Americans were asleep and then the next moment President Trump is waking you up to his victory over Maduro. That could be what's going on here. Why we haven't seen much coming from the US side, even though it's pretty obvious what's going on here, right? These are just I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just saying looking at what's been going on. Uh Here we go. Looks like we got some police response in the Capitol. I guess they thought this guy was some kind of spy guy or something. Well, that's interesting. Okay. It's just chaos, guys. This is chaos. And this plays into the hands of the US Special Forces. This is what you want if you're US Special Forces. If your job is to go in there and take Maduro out, this is in his home territory with his bunkers, with weapons and killers all over the place. This is how you're going to want to do it. In the middle of the night on a weekend, surprising everybody, dropping bombs, getting in there fast and getting out before anybody realizes it, right? This is, you want to talk about textbook for, a situation like this. This to me seems textbook, man. It seems textbook. Yeah. So that's where we are once again. 1:50 a.m. Caracas time. 7 explosions were heard, helicopters flying overhead. The response from the Venezuelan government has been for Maduro asking for the people of Venezuela to rise up. Um, Here we go. So CBS News is reporting that President Trump gave the US military the green light to conduct land strikes in Venezuela days before the actual operation occurred. Okay, well, we already know about that. That's old news. So yeah, so we're not even getting new news right now. It's like I say, it's 3 a.m. on our side, and we've got the fifth string guy on CNN doing interviews with whoever might be in Venezuela. We just don't know. We've got the government of Venezuela finally issued a communication, and it's asking for the people of Venezuela to rise up and to go after the government of the United States and go after the Americans. The problem is that this is a special forces deal, and good luck trying, if you're in Venezuela, good luck trying to come after Americans. I mean, good announcement and all, but good luck, guys. What are you gonna do? I mean, this was fast. This is precise. There hasn't been any official word coming out of the United States, which is telling me that they think most likely they're going to have a big announcement coming, and they're not going to burn their chance by just saying, "Hey, we did some attacks." No, I think they want to give President Trump the opportunity to be the first one to lay down exactly what happened tonight. And I'm thinking they got Maduro. I don't see how he makes it out. And with the way that the response has been, I think we got him. My opinion. I think we got him. And it happened on the day that the Chinese sent a delegation to meet the guy and give him fine China and smile and laugh. I mean, bro, that was a mistake. And maybe the Chinese now are saying, no, that's what we wanted. We wanted to make Trump so mad that he would green light a land attack because we want the Americans to attack Venezuela because that's going to hurt them in the long run. I'm sure that's what they might be saying for their propaganda reasons. But I'm sorry, bro. This is horrendous news for the Chinese. This is one of the worst things that could ever happen to them because they were silently and slowly they were sewing up the region through greed. They were coming in and they were buying off everybody, all of the leadership of all the different political parties in the whole area, everything from Panama all the way across through Guyana. And so if you want to look at it, you had Panama, you got Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, all of that section there, all of that section is where China came in and they've been buying off everybody for like the last 15 years. Like I said, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname. This is the map. You can, if you want to look at the map of the world, that's where it's going. China was right on that thing. That's where they've been in that area, buying off everybody. All right. And so their propaganda is saying, hey, if America comes in and they forcefully remove all the bought off politicians we have, it's going to be bad for them. It's going to be their Vietnam. And not going to happen. Because what China did when they came in to buy off these different politicians, they bought off the wrong ones. They bought off the worst ones. So they buy off Nicolas Maduro. The guy, look what he's doing to his country. He doesn't have the wherewithal to be able to survive as leader of Venezuela while also allowing the country to thrive. He has to be in a position where there's sanctions. He has to be the strong man guy. He has to have a falling apart society in order for him to be in control. Now, people can say, oh, no, America did that. No, that's been him. And the Chinese, that's who they back. They back the most greedy, selfish, evildoers there are in the region. This is who the Chinese back. That's who they tend to get along with, are people who are willing to plunder the Amazon for them, people who are willing to stab their own people in the back for a little bit of profit. This is where China has come into the region. This is their expertise. This is what they've been doing, and they've been slowly rotting away the entire region, little by little, with their little greedy things that they're doing in there. And so what's happening now from their perspective is, oh, you want to come in with violence, but that's not going to work because they think that buying everybody off is how you do it. Nah, man. What Trump is doing is going to flip that region because there are so many people living in there who do not like the situation that China has set up with the bribery and the corruption. The corruption is off the charts in this area of the world because of China, right? And so they overplayed their hand. They went too far. Now Trump is coming in with the military, and I'm telling you, it's not going to go the way that the Chinese are claiming that this is going to be another Vietnam. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. This guy Maduro is going to be out of there and no one's going to cry a tear. They're not going to care. They're not going to care. I'm just telling you. That's where we're at. This guy, man. What's crazy is that Maduro just asked for serious talks. Big mistake. If it hasn't been serious up until now to this guy, I don't know what to say. So just once again, recap. Around 1:50 a.m. Caracas time, explosions were heard. About 7 explosions were heard. Helicopters were flying over. Special forces helicopters were flying over into Caracas. We've seen some evacuations. We've seen the Venezuelan government release a statement stating that they want the people to rise up and to counter this American incursion, whatever that means. This is a special forces thing. I don't think they're going to find this guy. Cuba is now denouncing what's going on. Like I said, this has a direct impact on Cuba. If Nicolas Maduro goes down, what we're going to see is the Cuba regime going down, which means that we may see very soon what the ex-Cuban exiles who have lived in Miami have been dreaming of for so long, which is they can go back to their homeland, back to Cuba, and they can have their country back. That's where we're at right now. So I'm telling you, there are hundreds of thousands of Cubans in Miami right now, very excited, looking very closely at this, because this is the beginning of the end of that regime as well. This is big news. Big, big news. Yep. So that is where we are, guys. I am going to break. I will be back later on when we hear some more news on this, but that's where we are. I think when we wake up in the morning, there may not be a Maduro on this earth. Hopefully, they get him alive. I don't think they should be killing anybody, but this is special forces. This is serious business here. He may not be alive in the morning. With that said, we may wake up to this week on Monday morning to a new world. That may be happening. I don't know yet, but it seems like that's the case. I will be back on later on. Let me get a little bit of rest. I'll dig a little bit more and I will be back on, guys. Take care. This is Off Ramp Politics. Thomas Jason Anderson. Take care. And I'll be back on in a little bit.